I'm running the 2x6 through the table saw and cutting off the edge in order to square them up. So next I'm cutting out the feet and the upper supporting part for the trestle table base. So here I'm gluing up the legs for the trestle table base. I saw this technique on YouTube, and gluing it up this way creates a mortise in the table leg. Here I'm cutting some decorative angles for the feet and also for the tabletop supports. And now I'm just going to glue them all together. I'm also using some screws with the way the legs sit and the support sit, you won't be able to see them. No matter how hard I tried in lining them up and using clamps, there was still a slight gap, and so I'm filling the gap with wood filler. Here I'm evening out the table legs on the table saw. The miter saw that I'm using, I borrowed from a friend. It's got a 10-inch blade, and here I discovered that you cannot cut a 45 on a 4x4 post with it. So I had to do a little improv on the table saw. It definitely was not as accurate as I wanted it to be. Now I'm sanding down all of the wood filler. I did not record staining all of these pieces, but here's the stained pieces for the table base. I used 5-inch screws and glue to attach the leg to the base. Same thing for the top of the table, 5-inch screws and glue, and then clamped it all together. With these pieces I used screws and wood glue, and then I used wood filler on the holes. This is the 2x6 that will run between the two pieces of the trestle table base. Now I'm using the table saw to help cut out the tenon. I used a couple of 2x4s for added support. I'm using a sheet of 3/4 inch Baltic birch for the tabletop. Here I'm cutting it down to the final size that I need. It helps to have someone to help you to do this, just if anything to hold it snugly against the fence. Now what I'm cutting will help frame out the well for the gaming table. Here is the top with some of the sides attached. I used glue and trim screws to do this. Now I'm gluing oak to the inside of the well. This is the part that will be visible from the inside. Here it is glued in place. Now I'm cutting the outer rails that will form the T-track for the accessory rail. Now I'm using a router to create the T-track. I am using what's called a keyhole router bit to do this. Then I have to create a wider opening for the accessories to fit into and then to slide down the T-track. Here is the finished T-track. I'm sanding the rough edges. I created the table this way so that if the T-track broke, I could remove it and replace it. Here I'm attaching it only using trim screws with no glue. Now I'm cutting the table apron. This will fit directly below the T-track. This is the top rail or armrest. I am routing a card holder into it. I will cut table leaves that will sit over the well. This is a device I'm cutting and creating to be able to lift the table leaf up so you can get it out of the well. Here's the table after gluing the armrests on. Here is the tabletop attached to the table base. I used 3-inch screws and glue to attach it. The mat is by Big Viking mats, and they can custom cut any size for your table. I was really worried about the potential for the wooden T-track to break if someone hit it hard enough, and so it's only held in by screws, no glue. So if there is breakage, in theory, I could pull it out and build another one, but it does seem pretty strong the way it is. I built the table to accommodate my largest game, which is Zombicide. You can see it set up here. The dimensions are 40 on the width and 80 on the length. Here I'm cutting the tabletop that will go over the gaming well. One slight mistake I made was that I should have made the gaming well a little bit deeper. Here I am measuring where to put some dowels that will help keep the leaves together.